Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatin. So today I will present about Sampoong department store collapse. The content of today's presentation is background, technical failure, ethical failure, mitigation measure, and conclusion. First of all is background. So this building was located in Socho District, Seoul, South Korea, and it owned by Lee Jun, CEO of Sampoong Group. This department store construction began in 1987 at a site which is presently a landfill site, and it consists of 9 levels, which is 5 above grade and 4 basement floors. Next is the timeline of building failure. On 1987, the construction of this building started. It took 2 years to complete this building after switching the contractor and bribing. On 7 July 1990, the mall is publicly opened. In 1993, the store management received a lot of complaints from tenants of neighboring building about the noise from air conditioning system on the top floor. Therefore, they relocated the air conditioning system by dragging it. The weight of air conditioning system was 4 times heavier than the building can cope. Thus, after 2 years, minor cracks start appearing. On 28 June 1995, at 8 p.m., number of cracks in the area increases. Then, structural engineer declared that the department store is no longer safe to operate the business and need major repair. At 12 p.m., building manager turned off the air conditioning and closed the top floor. At 5 p.m., top floor ceiling began to descend, prompting the worker to block the access to the customer from entering the top floor. At 5:57 p.m., air conditioning and the roof collapsed to the 5th floor and all the building crumbled into the basement in about 20 seconds. This photo shows the Sampoong department store before collapse and after collapse on 28 June 1995. This incident killing 502 people and more than 900 people injured. This disaster also resulted in 270 billion won worth of property damage, which is approximately 364 million USD in 2020.
Thank you, Fatin. I'm Gaya Amina, and I proceed with the technical failure. Based on the investigations that have been done, these were the reasons of the collapse of the building. First, the design error. The initial design calculation of the roof concrete topping was 1.9 kVA, but the actual calculation was 4 kVA. This is because the engineer did not consider the installation of the cooling facilities in the calculation. The condition became even worse when the impractical way of moving the cooling system from here to here was applied that caused the occurrence of punching shear. They used the rollers on plates to slide and push the cooling system instead of using the crane. Next is the reduction of cross-sectional area of the column. The size of pillar of C1A and C1B from 2nd floor to 5th floor was supposed to be 80 cm diameter and 22 mm of 16 sets of reinforced bars. However, the actual size of the C1A and C1B from at 4th floor and 5th floor were 60 cm diameter and 22 mm of 8 sets of reinforced bars, which does not follow the blueprint. This is the cross-sectional area and the strength of reinforced bars were reduced to half. This is the location of the C1A and C1B. This is the proof that the pillars have been reduced to 60 cm and the 8 sets of reinforced bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next is the poor construction quality controls. An examination for dot panel in row 8 and column B on 2nd basement floor and broken concrete surface of the slab shows boundary panel between slab and dot panel separated smoothly and horizontally with 3 of lattice. Dot panel separated smoothly and horizontally with 3 of lattice shows a wrong construction method was applied, resulting in a poor construction quality. And then an examination for slab in northern part of the core was conducted to check for dot panel and its thickness. And apparently the dot panel was omitted from construction. Omitted means there are no dot panel here. So this is the direct factor that caused the buildings to collapse, as the dot panel plays an important role as a beam in frame slab structure. And then construction faults. The reinforced bars here, this was placed 10 cm, as you can see 10 cm from the concrete surface of the upper slab instead of 5 cm, which decreased 20% of the structure's strength. And lastly, the design changes on the 5th floor. Actually, the 5th floor was originally designed for wireless catering, which has total lot of 1040. However, it was changed to restaurant, which has total lot of 1530. This shows that the actual lot is higher than the calculation, which caused lower in the volume of the reinforced bar that placed to some members.
Hi, I'm Adimba, and I will be presenting about the ethical failure in the case of Sampoong department store collapse. So ethics is about differentiating good or bad, rules of conduct in the community, and also moral principle of an individual. So it also applies in engineering, where it comprises of responsibility of stakeholders that includes their desirable ideals and also personal commitments. So the main cause for the collapse was technical failure, but what triggered it in the first place was actually ethical failure that was made by the stakeholders. So the first one is refusal by Wilson Construction. So at first, the construction was supposed to be for an office building, but owner Lee Jun wanted something else. He wanted a department store. So modification will cause ill impact, and Wilson engineers did not agree to this. And second case is profit versus safety. A business main goal is to gain profit, but at the same time, an engineering main goal is safety. So in the case of the collapse, they failed to prioritize safety over profit. The third one is poor decision-making practice. The first case was when management did not properly relocate their air conditioning units when they received complaints. And the second one is on the day of collapse itself. They received notice that the building is not safe, but instead of evacuating the building, they just continue operation as usual, as they are scared they will lose revenue for the day. And the fourth one is corruption. In South Korea, construction involves at least 12 different ministries. But Lee Jun bribed public officials and inspectors to ensure that the building's standard will be approved, even though the standards did not meet standard codes of conduct. So that's all for ethical failure part. We'll move on to mitigation measure.
Mitigation measure can be separated into two, which are technical measure and also ethical measure. So for ethical measure, basically Sampoong department store will not be collapsed if proper quality control is in place. What they need to do, actually they need to apply quality control. Quality control refer to a part of quality management that ensure the building comply the requirements. There are 4 steps in the quality control, which are plan, do, check, and lastly act. For the plan, basically what they need to do, they need to determine quality standard and the requirement to meet the standard, determine what procedure will be used to ensure criteria is being met. And for the do, basically they need to organize supporting documents such as ISO documents, policies, procedures, and work instruction. Then for the check, basically they need to control, measure, and monitor the outputs to ensure they met the expected criteria management system. Identify area where there is opportunity for the improvement. And lastly, for the act, basically they need to review the finding of the quality management system and to re-evaluate both process and the products. Another one for the technical mitigation measure, where they need to apply engineering analysis. They need to calculate new value if changes have been made to the design. So in this case, as the building have been changed from 4-level building to 5-level building, so actually they need to recalculate everything to ensure whether the design is in the correct range. And also they need to evaluate technology use and evaluate the drawback present in the technologies.
Hey, my name is Afiq. I'll proceed with the mitigation measure for ethical failures. So the first one is the refusal by Wilson Construction. So the way to tackle this by strengthening the building codes, hire honesty and integrity government officials and inspectors, and follow clients' requirement without opposing the engineering specifications. And the next one is profit versus safety. So basically, when we want to build anything, we need to consider the safety aspect as the first consideration to be made by the construction management. And during the construction itself, they need to conduct safety inspection periodically, and the construction management, architects and also engineers need to stick to the proper designated plan approved by the engineers. And next one is poor decision making practice. So the way to handle this is by taking every consultation by engineers seriously. And the next one is implement appropriate arrangement for utilities during the construction. And everyone involved in the project should collaborate when doing the planning for the construction, so that the best outcome for the decision making can be made. And the last one for the ethical failures is corruption. And basically, to handle this kind of failures, everyone in the project need to grasp a good ethical behavior, and the inspectors and also government officials need to act strictly towards any unethical practice done by the construction management, and all parties involved in the project itself should play a role to prevent corruption. And this is parties involved in a project where the owner will have consultation with the consultant and also architects and engineer. And after a tender have been presented by the general contractor and also have been accepted by the government officials and also inspectors, they will proceed along with the subcontractor to build the respective building. And we have come to the conclusion. So basically, the Sampoong department store was only operated for 5 years before the collapse, and many economical issues contributed to the collapse, such as design flaws, poor construction quality control, and also changes in design by the construction management itself. And this kind of thing can be mitigated by applying quality control such as ISO 9000, which is known as quality assurance and comply with the international standards. And some of the ethical issues involved in this project are corruption, poor decision and also poor decision making practice, and as I described earlier. And the way to handle all these kind of ethical issues and also any other issues is to hire honest and high integrity government officials and inspectors to ensure the screening of the approval of the construction is stricter and to prevent the same incidents such as Sampoong department store from happening in the future. So that's all from us. Thank you and have a nice day.